Good evening. Welcome to 5 Day with Jay. I'm Jay. You're not. But how are you? How are you doing? Good to hear. Glad you're here with me. Glad you joined me again. Got my writing done for the evening. Not as much as last night, but happy writing anyway. Today was an interesting day. Today I did something I've only ever done once before, which happened to be on Wednesday. And today I got to do it twice. I interviewed somebody. A little bit of background. As I've mentioned before, I haven't mentioned the company I work for. I won't mention the company I work for. If you know who I am and you know who I work for, wonderful. At any rate, been with the company for 24 years. I work very closely with my boss. I do cybersecurity. I work closely with all the members of the team. I have my assignments that I work on, and I make sure that things are organized for my boss so that it helps him, makes his job easier. Just an extra duty that I take on. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. This is what gets me into, when I've discussed this week, organization, planning, preparing, that type of thing. It was interesting to approach I've been interviewed multiple times over the years. I've changed positions multiple times, and when you change position, you go through an interview. What he was allowed to do in the interview process was ask the exact same questions of each candidate that we were going to interview. We had 4. One of them dropped out, meaning we had 3 that we were going to interview. I've never interviewed anybody for a position, especially not for the group I was in. I've mock interviewed type of thing with people where asking a set of questions and one question leads to the next. So I understand the process. I get that. This was actually a group interview. So there are 3 of us from the team who went through the interview process with the individuals. I didn't know any of them. I only went by their resume and the notes that my boss passed along. It was an interesting process. It was challenging in the fact that all 3 candidates were really good candidates. When it comes to cybersecurity, all of them are well matched for network cybersecurity. And that said, we don't do network cybersecurity like what they work on. All of the individuals do firewalls, networking, that type of security. My group works on ensuring that client, customer, vendor, sensitive personal information, company secrets does not leave the company. Their protection was more making sure nobody who's supposed to get in, basically preventing people from getting in that aren't supposed to get in. That's more of their protection, and they do logging and they check the logs and alarms and whatnot. What we do is somebody does something, we identify what they did and track down and find out. And we do large reporting across organizations, and we do things to help teach people how what they're doing is an insecure method. One of the things that we've taught people, and this is just a random example, is people will have a spreadsheet. If you do this, please stop now. They will have a spreadsheet with every URL, login, and password exposed of every website they go to, their banking information, their bank account number, their social security numbers, their passport numbers, all of their private information in this one big Excel spreadsheet. I could go become this person. I could go log on to their Amazon account, change their information, use their banking information, and make all kinds of purchases through their Amazon account. I could log in and immediately pull money off their credit card. People do this, and it's a really bad practice. We've sent out notifications company-wide to tell people to stop doing this because it is a pretty rampant practice that people should really stop doing. But some of the things even beyond that we really focus on that are more work related, people emailing documents home. No, you shouldn't be emailing documents from work to home. You're emailing it from a secure location to an insecure location. That's a bad idea. So we alert people. And when I say training people, I don't mean we go, hi, I'm here to teach you how to do your job correctly. That's not what I mean. I mean, we have an application that's on their system that's tracking everything that they do. And when something comes up, it'll tell them, hey, you're doing this. Did you mean to do that? Are you understanding exactly what you're supposed to do? Here's the links you need to go to verify if you're doing this correctly. By the way, select from this drop down to verify that you're doing this correctly, or if this is something that you didn't intend to do, and then you block that from going through. We end up correcting people's behaviors over time. And then we eventually go to, okay, we know you're not supposed to be doing that at all. We're stopping you now. We're just going to completely block it and shut it down. That way people they learn a behavior. They learn to stop doing that to get the pop-up and start doing the right thing. They stop moving things onto external media from their work computers because a thumb drive is an insecure method. And we send them to training. We don't provide the training. We send them to a training where they learn how to handle things securely, and then they can request to utilize an encrypted thumb drive for backing up data from their computer. Completely different method. That way they understand, oh, okay, I was doing it wrong, now I'm doing it right, and now they can request permission to do it. These are things that just in the few years I've been with the team, we've built up these practices to teach people, and it's fascinating. It really is fascinating. Back to interviewing the individuals. It's incredible to sit down with these folk, learn about what their background is, what they've been through, how they've gotten to where they are. And then, a couple minutes of social time, just, hey, so what do you do in your spare time? What do you like to do? And it was fascinating that all three individuals, one of them, he was already relaxed. He wasn't really concerned about finding a position. He already had a position. The other two were external to the company and looking to get into the company I work for. For them, one of them was unemployed, one of them was employed, but both of them wanted to move out of the position they were in into a larger company and a more, what they felt was a secure role. Both of them very formal, even when, try to relax them, still very stiff, just answering questions almost on a robotic nature until we got towards the end. And it's like, oh, what do you like to do in your spare time? And then you can almost feel that sigh of relief. It's like, oh, okay, the hard part is over. Interviewing isn't easy. As I said, I've been through many, many interviews. This last time I went through when I had to interview because I had lost my position and I had to interview for a new position, the one that I have now. It wasn't an easy process. Interviewing is a challenge. You got to take that step back and not seem anxious or nervous or desperate. And that's probably the hardest part about interviewing that I've had to deal with when I interview, is to realize that this person is just looking for somebody that fits on the team and has the qualifications and they can meld with the team, versus somebody who's going to come in and go, yep, I know it all. Yep, I'm ready to just rock this team and rock and roll everything. There's got to be a balance. You can be a rock star without having the rock star attitude. You can be ambitious without being aggressive. There's a balancing act when it comes to these things. And I really felt that two of the candidates really did that balancing act well. One of the candidates seemed to kind of tilt things. And this is just based off of some very basic information. But one of the individuals seemed to exaggerate a little, both in the interview and on the resume. That's another thing, is resume writing skills are so challenging. It's one of those skills that you need to learn. There's courses out there on how to write a professional resume. Don't have a wall of text. Here's what this job was, here's what this job was, these giant blocks of text. It's easy to do that. Resume writing is really, really challenging. I recommend finding a good resume writing course if you're looking for a position, and take it to heart. Really take it to heart. I've changed my resume multiple times over the years, even when I'm not looking for a position. Anything can happen at any point in time. The company I work for, even though it is a rather large company, could go under at any time for any reason. They could decide, you know what, we don't need this entire organization and just cut people. I've been in that situation before. It's not a good feeling, but you need to be ready for it. I never want to be in that position again. I can't guarantee that I ever will, but if it does happen, I know that I'm prepared. That's the biggest challenge there. At any rate, just a quick ramble about interviewing, resumes, and whatnot. Circling back to the channel, I know I'm getting very few views. One of the things that I wanted to explain, and I'll probably do this on Sunday in a little more in depth, is I understand I'm getting very few views. I understand I'm getting 1 or 0 views on most of my recent videos. I'm not doing this for the likes, for the views, for the hits. I'm doing this for me. Much like my writing, it's something I'm doing for myself at this time, and I may expand on it later. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I honestly don't know at this point. Again, I'm just having a good time and enjoying myself. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I continue to do it. At any rate, it's been 5 Days with Jay. You've been awesome. Until next time.